Hi everyone, and welcome you all to the learning process of C programming. Myself Dinesh Kumar. I'm a technical aptitude trainer. In this video, we are going to see a brief introduction to C programming. Let's dive into the session without any further delay. Let's see the course content of this video. What is programming language? What is C? And how to run a sample C program in Turbo C++ and in an IDE. To answer this question, what is programming language? Programming language is a collection of rules that command a computer, devices, applications to work according to the written codes. So programming language is nothing but a collection of instructions that command any electronic device. Right? So programming language is the platform to communicate with any electronic device. If I want to communicate with you, I need a language, right? In which language I am communicating with you? English. Likewise, if you want to communicate with the system, we need a language which is understandable by the system. So it is called programming language, and we have various programming language. In this learning process, we are going to see C. Programming languages enables us to write efficient programs and develop online solutions such as mobile applications, web applications, and games, etc. Programming is used to automate, maintain, assemble, measure and interpret the processing of data and informations. Good. So programming language is nothing but collection of instructions. Now we'll see with programming languages, right? Few names of programming languages and how it is differentiated. It is differentiated low-level language, mid-level language, and high-level languages. Example to low-level languages are assembly, Turtle, and early programming languages are COBOL and Photon. Mid-level language, best example is C, and high-level language, best examples are C++, Java, and Python. What is the difference between low-level language and high-level language? Low-level languages are machine understandable and machine dependent languages. High-level languages are machine independent languages. So what is the difference between machine dependent and machine independent? Machine dependent means if a code is written in one system, it cannot be executed in another system. Good. Hope you understand. If a code is written in one system, it cannot be executed in another system. High-level languages are if I written a code in one system, it can be executed in another system also. Good. So that it will be very useful compared to low-level language. Okay, so that's the difference between low-level language and high-level languages. And now let's see what is C. C is a general-purpose programming language that is extremely popular, simple, and flexible to use. And it's a structured programming language. That's a very important point. If someone is asking what is C, it should be your first answer. It is a structured programming language that is machine independent and extensively used to write various applications, operating systems like Windows and many other complex programs like Oracle database, Git, Python interpreter, and more. If you see the spectrum ranking, C stands in 4th rank. And where we can use C, you can see in types, embedded system, mobile applications, and system applications like OS, right? It is not used in web applications. Okay, so let's see the history of C. It's just a spelling mistake, forget about that. History of C. C programming language was developed in 1972 by Dennis Ritchie at Bell Laboratories of AT&T, which is located in USA. Dennis Ritchie is known as the founder of C programming language. He's the father of C programming language, and this is Dennis Ritchie, who lived in this period 1941 to 2011, and he got Turner Award also. It was developed to overcome the problems of previous languages such as B, BC, PL, and etc., which shows C is not the first programming language, but it is used to call it as a mother of programming languages. Right? Once you learn C, it will be easy to understand any programming language like Java, C++, .NET, Python, and so on. Initially, C language was developed to used in Unix operating system alone, and later on it was developed to use in various operating systems like Windows and so on. Now we will see how to write a sample C program to print "Welcome to C programming." Before that, we have to answer this question: how to write, where to write, how to compile, and how to run the C program. To write and compile and run a C program, we need two things. One is a notepad to write the code and a compiler, C compiler, right? So we can write or we can work with C project using two different softwares. Either we can work with Turbo C or we can install any IDE, and these are the available IDEs in the market: VS Studio, Visual Studio, and C Leon, Eclipse, Dev C++, and CodeBlocks. And most used IDE for C and C++ programming is CodeBlocks, and Java, Eclipse, Python, PyCharm. Good, but you can use other IDE also. But I strongly recommend to use Turbo C or CodeBlocks, whichever is convenient for you. We are going to see how to write a C program in Turbo C and CodeBlocks. Before that, quickly see how to install Turbo C, where to download. Good. Okay, to download, go to your browser and search for Turbo C. You can get this first link, developerinsider.com. Go to this link and you can find download Turbo C++ tab. Click on that. Your download will start within a few seconds. Once the file is downloaded, you can install it like a normal software. I hope you all know how to install a software. But I already installed the software, so I can skip here. And I'm just showing you which link you have to follow to download Turbo C++. Okay, now search for CodeBlocks, right? CodeBlocks for Windows. Here you can see binary releases, right? So click on that. There you can see different operating systems: Windows, Linux, and Mac OS. You can choose Windows if you are using Windows. And here you can see different setup, no admin, no setup.zip. This no setup is a portable file. You don't need to install. You can just copy and paste in various systems, and you can directly use this setup file we need. Right? And what is this MingW setup? It will give you inbuilt C compiler, right? So we need this setup. If you install this one, it will install the CodeBlocks software alone, and we have to install C compiler separately. Right? If you download this MingW setup.exe, it will come up with inbuilt C compiler, right? So we can download a MingW setup. You can use FOSSHub or source 4g.net. Right? I already installed CodeBlocks, so I'm just showing you how to download CodeBlocks. And once it's downloaded, you can install like a normal software. Okay, fellas, so after installing Turbo C++ and CodeBlocks, you can start writing the code using Turbo C++ or CodeBlocks. Now I'm going to demonstrate how to use Turbo C++. So you can click on the icon and this window will open. You can go to this link, Start Turbo C++, and the DOS box will open, right? So here we are going to write and compile and run the C program. Go to File, New. So new file will be opened. To start C programming, we have to start with a header files, right? So which header files we have to include? There are a lot of header files, but two header files are mandatory to include, right? So what are the header files? Let me show you. #include stdio.h. stdio stands for standard input and output. And another header file I'm going to include, conio.h. Right? So conio.h means console input output. Without conio.h also you can run a program, but without stdio.h you cannot run a C program. Good. So after that I have to open the main function, void main. Good. And the return type of main function can be void or int. Right? Let me go with void first, then I will tell you int. So void main. Here what I want to do is I want to print welcome to C programming. For that I have to call this predefined function printf. Inside printf function I have to pass this parameter welcome to C programming. Good. Yes, I have done that one. That's all. So this is a sample program to print welcome to C programming. What to do? We have to compile it, right? So go to compile. Compile, you can click on that, or else you can use the shortcut Alt F9. There is no errors and no warning. Press any key to exit and go to run. You can go to this link, or you can use Control F9, right? So run. Yes, so the program is run. Now we have to see the output. Now where we can see the output, go to Windows, and here you can see output. And it is printed welcome to C programming. Good. So our program works fine. Now I'm going to run this program one more time. Go to run. Click on that. Now go to Windows. Okay, here you can see my mouse is not working. So if your mouse is not working, press Alt space. Then you can click on Repaint Desktop. Then your mouse will work fine. Good. So Windows and go to output, and here you can see the output. Welcome to C programming. Welcome to C programming. But I have written a code to print welcome to C programming only once. But why it shows 2 times? So this welcome to C programming is printed by the previous program, right? So we have run this code twice, no? So while run it for the first time, it is printed welcome to C programming, and for the second time it prints welcome to C programming. If you run for the third time, again it will print for welcome to C programming, which means the previous outputs are not wiped out by the compiler. So we have to tell the compiler, please wipe out the previous output and show me the current output alone, right? So for that I have to use this function CLR-SCR, right? CLR-SCR. So this function will wipe out the previous output in the console, right? If you run it, I'm going to use the shortcut Control F9 and go to Windows and output, right? So now I'm going to cascade so that I can see these 2 windows simultaneously. Here now you can see welcome to C programming is printed only once. Good. Okay. Now I want to see this output in full screen mode, sir. Right now I want to see this program output in full screen mode. What I can do? Yes. So you can use another function to hold the output screen. It is called getch. So this function will help you to hold the output screen so that we can see it. Right. Now I'm going to compile first. No errors. And I'm going to run it. Now you can see the output screen is in a full screen mode, and you can see the output welcome to C programming. Good. Okay. Now I'm going to demonstrate how to print 2 different statements in 2 different lines, right? So I'm going to print another statement, hello students. Good. Now I'm going to compile it. There is no error. Then run it, and here you can see welcome to C programming followed by hello students, right? I don't want to print like this. I want to print welcome to C programming in the first line, and I want to print hello students in the second line. What way I can tell the system? I can use escape sequence, right? /n. If I use this escape sequence, what it will do, what this will do, again we will see what is escape sequence and all. This /n, what this will do, it will move the cursor to the next line. So if you go to the output screen, here you can see the cursor is in the first line itself, right? So it doesn't move to the next line. So this /n will tell the cursor go to the next line. So after printing welcome to C programming, the cursor will move on to the second line. Then it will print hello students. If I mention a /n here, it will move on to the next line. So let's run this program and see how it works and where the cursor will be. Good. So Alt F9, there is no error, and Control F9. Here you can see welcome to C programming. After printing welcome to C programming, that /n tells the compiler to move the cursor from first line to second line. After printing hello students, again the cursor moves to the next line, third line, right? So how to move the cursor to the next line? We have to use the escape sequence /n. Good. So that's all, guys. So this is how to write a sample program. This is how to print any statement in the console. Now I will tell you what is the usage of stdio.h. I told you this printf is a predefined function, right? So predefined means where it is defined in this header file. So this header file is nothing but a library, right? So if we go to the library, there we can find a lot of books. We can pick the book we need, right? Likewise, C programming, C compiler have a multiple header files. whatever header file you need, you can include it while coding. And this stdio.h is mandatory standard input output, right? So without getting input, without printing anything, we cannot write any program, right? So whatever the program may be, we need to get some input, no, and we need to print something, no. So obviously we will use printf and scanf function to print and get the input. So which means we need the stdio.h as a mandatory one. And next one, this conio.h means a console input output, right? So console means what? This is called console. This output screen is called console. So in this console, if you want to perform anything, you need to include this conio.h. And here you can see this clr. So this function will help to wipe out the previous output, right? So it is happening in the console. This function is predefined in conio.h. So without including this one, right? So if I erase this one, if I delete conio.h, and if I'm using clr, I will get an error. It's here you can see there are two errors. clr should have a prototype, which means we have to include the header files. Good. So I'm going to include it. Include conio.h. Okay then. So this is the usage of stdio.h and conio.h. And I'm going to tell you one more thing. So here I used a void, no, so instead of void. So this is called return type. Again, we will see what is return type, but time being, let's stick with the code. So instead of void, you can use int also. But if you use int, if you compile it, you can get one warning. Yes, what is that one? This function should return a value. So if it is a int data type apart from void, void means what? Nothing. Void, right? Void means there is nothing. We don't need to return anything. But if we use any other data type except void, we have to return something, right? Here you will get a warning. If I don't want to get the warning, here you have to give return statement. In return, I don't want to return anything, so I'm going to return 0. Now if you compile, you will not get that warning. Good, and it will work just fine. Good, so that's all guys. So this is the sample programming in Turbo C++, and I want to show you some more things, which is called structure of C programming. So structure of C programming means first the C programming, right? Any program should start with the documentation. So documentation means what? Right? So documentation means what? I will tell you here. Right, author name. Author name means who wrote this code, right? So I wrote this code, so I'm going to mention my name, Dinesh Kumar. Okay, after author name, what I have to mention is I have to mention the date, on which date the program is written, right? I made this video on June 1st, so I'm going to mention 01/06 of 2021. So after that, name of the program. Name of the program is printing hello student. Hello students. Good. Okay, so this is called documentation area. But if you compile this, you will get error. 6 errors. Why? Because the compiler doesn't know what is meant by author name, right? The compiler doesn't know this name, this word, right? Author name, date, printing. It doesn't know, which means we should tell the compiler it is nothing but a simple sentence, right? So we have to comment it so that the compiler will not bother about these lines. So how to comment any line in programming? So like you have to use this one. So you can comment any line or you can comment any paragraph. So if I want to comment the paragraph, I have to follow this pattern, right? So \n. So this is where the commenting starts, and after printing hello statements, this is where the commenting ends. So I have to use this pattern, right? So for \asterisk symbol, then in the end asterisk symbol, \. Good. Okay, so this is how you can comment any paragraph, right, in Turbo C++. And this is called documentation area, right? Documentation area, right? If you want to comment in a single statement, single line, you can use double \, right? Instead of this one. If you use \asterisk way, it needs a start point and an end point. But if you use a double \, it will comment the entire line. Good. And this is called header section, right? Or linking section to link with header files. So which means the linking section, right? And the next line is called main section, right? And inside main it is a body. Good. CLR function will help you to wipe out the previous output, and printf will help you to print any statement in the console, and getch will help you to hold the output screen. Good. And if we use any other data type except void, we have to give the return statement, and here I used int data type, so I have to use return 0. Good. So that's all, guys. So this is how we have to write a sample C program in Turbo C++. And if you want to minimize this window, you can give Alt Enter, and if you want to maximize the window, you can give Alt Enter again. And if you want to close it, you can go to File and you can close the window, or else you can use this Alt X keyboard, right? Alt X, and before that you can save this document as usual, right? And this is the directory. If you want to use different directory, you can give the directory name, and you can give the file name. This file name is a sample, means you can give sample.cpp. Good. So that's all, guys. Now we will see how to write a code, how to write the same code in CodeBlocks, and what is the advantage of CodeBlocks over Turbo C++. Okay, fellas, so once you open CodeBlocks, it will look like this. So either you can create a new project. So create a new project, go to console application, and in console application you can see C or C++. We are going to work with C, so go to C and give next, and here you can give a project title and file directory, and the project file name also, right? Or else sir, I don't want to create a new project, I want to work with a file, right? You can go to new, then create a file. So which file we want to create? We want to create a C++ source file, and here we are going to work with C, so go to C, and here you can give the full path where you want to write a code, right? So I already written a code, so I'm going to open that file. File exists. Okay, so I don't, okay, let's replace it, right? So replace, yes. Now finish it. You can see the file is created. We already seen how to write a program. First it should start with the documentation area. I'm going to skip documentation area to save time. I'm going to directly add #include. Now you can see the advantage of CodeBlock, advantage of CodeBlock over Turbo C++. So in Turbo C++ we will not get any hints, but here we will get hints after entering #in. Here I can here it gives me the hint include, so I can just click on that. I don't need to type the entire code. And when I open this one, and you can add stdio, here you can see again it gives me the hint. I don't need to type the entire thing. And again include, so in enter, and conio, here you can see, right? It will give us the suggestions, so we can, if you want, you can use it, or else you can type it entirely, right? After that we need to open the main function. Here I'm going to use a void main, right? And here if you open the open the curly bracket, it automatically closes, so we can save some time, right? And here you can see this kind of things also, so that we can minimize and group the functions, right? If you are using multiple functions, if you are using Turbo C++, it will be difficult to group the functions, right? But it will be very easy to group it, right? So here you can see like this, and here I want to print hello. Okay, so everything else is same, right? And print, sorry, welcome to C programming. Good. After that I want to move to the next line, so /n. After that I want to print hello students. Then I want to move to the next line. To hold the screen, I want to get ch, right? It will work fine. But here, to wipe out the screen, right? To wipe out the screen, here we cannot give CL or SCR, right? So CodeBlocks work with a different function. Turbo C++ will work with CL or SCR predefined function, which is mentioned in conio.h, but CodeBlocks will not work with CL or SCR. So which function we have to use? We have to use a different function. It is called system inside the bracket you have to give CLS. It means it will clear the system, right? Something like that. And to run the program, here you can go it, right? So this will run, but before that we have to compile and run. No, so we have to build it and run. So here you can see built and run. So built and run. Right, so here you can see the console. Welcome to C programming, and the next line hello students is printed and the cursor moves to the third line, right? You can give any key to exit the console. That's all, right? So the only difference between Turbo C++ and here it is, so far we have seen as system CLS. To clear the screen in Turbo C++, we have to use this function CLR, but in CodeBlocks we have to use system. Inside the bracket we have to give CLS. Good. And which is comfortable for me is CodeBlock. So I'm going to use CodeBlock in this entire learning process. So now we will see the structure of C programming, and so far we have seen these things, right? Let me take the laser point. First, the program should start with documentation, author name, date, and program name, right? So this is called documentation section. Then it is followed by linking section or header files. Then we can give this kind of global declaration. We will see what is called a global declaration later, and followed by main function. Inside main function we have to give the program statements. So this is the structure of C programming. Okay, now we will see how C compilation actually works, right? What we have written is called source code. We have written a sample C program, right? So it is called source code. So whatever the programmer written is called source code. So this source code will be sent to the preprocessor, right? So what this preprocessor will do, this preprocessor will convert the source code somewhat and it will send to the compiler. And the compiler converts the source code into an assembly code and send to assembler, which is understandable by the machine, right? The source code is understandable by human beings, and this assembly code is understandable by the machine. This compiler will convert the source code into an assembly code, then it will send to assembler. What this assembler will do, this assembler will convert the assembly code into object code, then it's sent to linker. What this linker will do, this linker will link the files with library files, right? So this linker will link the code, right? So actual code, sorry. This linker will link the code with library files. So we have mentioned stdio.h and conio.h, no? So this linker will link those files with the code, and it will convert the code into an executable file, right? So this is how the compiler, C compiler works. So these four are called components of compiler. So this is how C compilation works. Good. So that's all, guys. Thank you so much for staying in this video. Keep supporting me. If you like this video, like, comment, and share. And don't forget to subscribe the channel Code It. Thank you once again, and keep learning.